Okay, they managed to squeeze me in. As you can see, it's not very busy. If I had to guess, there's about maybe 8 other people with me, including children. This is the train ride. It's like a Disney ride to me. Very, very compact. That's cool. They've got glass panel shutters. Obviously, safety. The doors obviously locked.
No, this is a special train that they made for the museum. But before, we would have little trains that humans would go in, just letters.
We ask all passengers to remain seated for the duration of the ride and not to lean on the sides of the train, as this may cause it to stop suddenly. Thank you.
I know what you're thinking. Gosh, Ivan's doing anything for his YouTube channel.
Hello and welcome to Mail Rail. You're about to explore some of London's hidden underground postal railway. I'm Andy, your guide today, and I'm joined by Ray Middlesworth. Hi Ray. Decades of mail rail.
We're under Mount Pleasant sorting office, heading east to Whitechapel. It was hard work down here, but we all thought we were part of something important. There was enormous team spirit. We seemed to get ourselves in the news a lot in the 90s. It didn't hurt that Bruce Willis made a film down here called Hudson Hawk. In the 80s we had our 60th anniversary. Along with that we had a new brand and finally some new trains. I'll tell you two things that sum up the 70s. Postcodes made life a lot easier, and strikes made life not so easy. The swinging 60s. Those World Cup stamps sold out after England won. There were a few celebrations down here that summer. In the 50s, air travel became much more common, and so did airmail, and that meant even more of it travelled along mail rail.
And that must be it. This country is at war with Germany.
The railway was bombed several times. This station suffered the most damage when it was hit in 1943. Amazingly, the railway was back up and running the very next day. That reflected how vital the railway had become.
The tunnel off to the left leads to Liverpool Street Station, referred to the main railway network. Further down that tunnel, it looks like a maintenance crew is checking the flood barriers.
This side's good. What's that like?
Big heavy steel doors that close it off.
During the railway's construction, 10 men scrambled to safety when the nearby River Fleet broke into where they were digging. The barriers here were installed later, after the war, but they never had to be used.
Ray, there's something else here that people might be interested in. Can you tell us about that?
When we move off just up ahead, look down towards the track. You might catch a glimpse of the train graveyard where disused trains are stored. I must have looked on all of them at some time or other.
Don't worry, everybody. Just a power cut. Ray, can you explain?
Power cuts happen from time to time when the railway was operational. We could draw power from the next station along to keep everything running. And of course, us guys in the engineering teams always kept the trains and track in good order.
Okay, on we go. post, so there was a lot of mail to move. Trainloads of mail arrived at every station every few minutes, with less than 60 seconds to unload and reload. Let's follow a few of those letters. This is the Colonel. He's writing to the famous poet W.H. Auden at the GPO Film Unit. This is Kathleen. She's keeping in touch with her sweetheart in the Navy. And this is Mary. Her letter is very special because it's going to a princess.
Darling Bert, that Navy's keeping you away from me for far too long, and everyone says a war's coming. I do hope they're wrong.
Dear Mr. Auden, I feel compelled to express my admiration for your work on the recent film about the night mail postal train.
Dear Princess Elizabeth, I am sending you a birthday card because my birthday is on the same day. I hope you will enjoy living in Buckingham Palace. I wish my leather was a king like yours. Does he wear his crown all the time?
What I want to say, must be important. Can you know?
Colonel Arthur Bingley Crouch, retired.
Must go now, or I shall be late for work. Those frocks won't sell themselves. Take good care of yourself, Bert, my love. Kisses, your sweetheart, Kathleen.
So those 3 letters all got delivered quickly and safely. And so did the other 4 million which travelled along mail rail each and every day.
You could say that mail rail was the beating heart of the British postal system. your tour of London's hidden postal unique. I love being part of the great team keeping the railway running.
We hope you'll enjoy exploring the rest of the exhibition just as much. Goodbye.
Goodbye.